Welcome back to Sort of Sophisticated, where I would argue anyway, curiosity meets just the right amount of sarcasm.
Yeah, but that's like an asterisk. It's after all the editing.
Your face is an asterisk. Amanda.
I mean.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm fine. Fun fact, people. Amanda controls the mics, just so everybody knows. I don't. She's the engineer, if we all remember this. So when I go all unhinged, she just stops recording anyway. So we don't have to edit anything. The thing that sucks about it all is I think I'm on a roll. And she's literally staring at me laughing, and it's not even being recorded. And it's super not fair.
So I'm just going to tell everybody, you're welcome. You don't have to listen to Peter babble.
I would argue those are the best parts, and those are the ones that should come out of the vault.
But you were the only one who probably thinks you're the best parts.
Okay, whatever. Fine.
Maybe.
We always start so hard, don't we? Like, what is going on
I think
here?
you do. You come
I think we need to be
straight
nice
for
to
the
each other.
jugular.
I'm going to work on being nicer to you. Okay, whatever.
Wasn't that like in episode 3?
Yeah, okay. We just shot that whole lot. Okay, anyway. Yeah. What's going on?
Not much. I just got back from our week-long 1,900-mile trip.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was a lot of fun.
and you're gallivanting all around the United States of
I was.
America.
Yes. We ended up in Wyoming.
Wyoming?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cheyenne? Cheyenne, yep. We went to
right.
a bison ranch.
There's really a bison ranch?
There is.
Okay.
And
I thought there was just like
I
bull
think it's
riding
more
and stuff.
touristy than it really
Okay.
is anything. But so we arrived
Wait,
there.
You weren't one of those mothers that like took their daughter too close to the bison and the bison almost killed you?
No, absolutely not. This
Okay,
is all
fine.
like a
Thank
safe
God.
and
all right,
controlled.
okay, go.
So we're waiting in line
Yeah.
to go on the train to
Yeah.
go to that takes us out to the corrals. And this lady who's helping us get on the train is covered in what appeared to be dried blood. And so like us Californians,
Yeah.
you know, our first thought was, oh, she's part of this reenactment that they're going to do. It's all makeup.
I would think immediately she murdered
It
somebody.
was all
but
makeup,
okay.
right?
Yeah.
No, yeah. And so we have our kids, mind you, they're little,
Yeah.
in grade school, and they go, Mommy, what's wrong with her? And I was like, oh, I don't know. And I'm like, maybe she's going to do something.
Yeah,
Who
you're
knows,
hyping
right?
this
Whatever,
up.
right?
Like you think this is all part of
So,
the
of
act.
course, what do
Yeah.
kids do? She gets close enough, and she's talking to the children, and the kids go, what happened to your arms?
I love it. Perfect.
Right? I was like,
Yeah.
oh, no. Thinking she's going to be like, oh, it's, it's just makeup or whatever. She goes, oh, so the prairie dogs, they dig those holes, and sometimes the bison's legs will get stuck in it, and
No.
they'll break.
No.
And we had to put a bison down. My children's faces.
Oh my God. It's got blood all over her hands.
Yeah. No, her arms, her
everything.
clothes, her face has it, and it's all dried.
This
and
is my kind of woman.
Oh my goodness, let me tell you.
Oh my Lord.
And so they go,
Miss Bison blood.
so is that all the blood from the bison? She goes, no, there's a lot more still in the
There's some, by the way, there's some of my blood on there too. There's all that. Right. So my kids would have been like, yeah, Dad, we're not going on this little bison.
Oh, no, they were like,
ride.
do we get to see it?
You know.
I was like, no. It's all
Oh my
taken care
God,
of.
you
It's all
got cool
cleaned up.
kids. My kids would have been out.
Yeah,
They'd have been like, Dad, can we go back to Disneyland, please? I'm done. We don't need any more.
And this is why we go
This is
on
nonsense.
our 1900 going around.
That's because you're
different states.
cool. That's because you're a cool homeschooling mama.
We're trying.
All right, enough babbling. Okay?
Enough babbling.
Let's go. What are we talking about today? Go.
We're taking it back to the courtroom.
The courtroom.
The courtroom. I don't know if we've been in the courtroom yet. I don't think we have.
Dun dun dun.
No.
Okay, let's go. What's
But
in the
it's
courtroom?
It's a special anniversary. It's the 100th anniversary of the Scopes monkey trial, which ran from July 10th to July 21st in 1925. And just as a quick refresher for anyone who wasn't alive back then, Pete was because he's kind of ancient. The Scopes monkey trial was basically where a small town high school teacher got busted for teaching evolution to his students. And wham, all of a sudden the whole country was arguing about God, science, and what kids are and aren't allowed to learn today in school, which is fairly similar to today.
It is. I love this. I wasn't alive. Thank you very much, Mimi.
I know.
Okay.
I was just joking.
I
got jokes.
I was only half alive. Because if that was 100 years ago, right? I was,
That's true.
I'm half alive. I don't even know if that's a thing.
This
Okay.
is not a thing.
This was serious shit though. I remember watching. I was in fifth grade maybe. I don't remember.
Right. There's a whole
They
movie,
totally made me
right?
watch a movie. Yeah. No, it was excellent.
Yeah. So here we are today, still battling. And did you hear,
What?
just a week ago or so, Maryland just upheld the rights of parents to opt their children out of lessons in school featuring LGBTQ themed books?
Oh, yeah.
It just happened.
Oh, no,
And so,
totally.
again,
Yeah.
it's like we're still going through this today.
I know. I love how this is all connected, right?
But it's why history's important.
Yes, I know. Here we are 100 years later, still arguing over state-imposed curriculum and bound. This is right up your alley. Oh my God, I know why you picked this. Okay, history repeats itself. I love this.
I don't know if I love that history repeats itself, but anyways, here we are.
But so long as we're learning from it, then it's okay.
Right.
Yeah? I mean, that's the
As
whole
long as
point.
we're becoming cultured and curious from it.
Right. But before you ask me, like, hey, G Pete, how's this all going to make me cultured and curious?
Okay.
Can I just launch? Because I did.
Absolutely.
I did the homework.
I'm sure you
Sometimes
did.
I do the homework.
We all know you
Sometimes
did
I
homework.
didn't. Okay. Like I read up on like the whole Constitution. I read the Bill of Rights.
Oh.
I read the Articles of Confederate. Not really. Okay.
Oh, man, I was going to be so impressed.
Can I go?
Yeah.
2 words.
Okay.
The First Amendment.
Well, that's technically 3 words.
I hate you. Okay. 3 words. The First Amendment. The shouldn't even count. Okay. That's an article all by itself. So let's just say.
Why wouldn't you just say like, so
Whatever.
2 words?
First Amendment.
First Amendment.
Because I'm not that cool. Okay, you're more sophisticated than I was. Okay.
here we are.
And I quote, here we go. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. Thank you, James Madison. And in America, where we have like 100 different religions, this is how we separate church and state. And much to some people's chagrin, we make sure that none of these religious groups can force their beliefs on any public institution. Now, Amanda, some crazies would say that's anti-religion. It's not. It's anti-favoritism, and it's awesome, and it's what America is founded on, this coming from a Catholic, mind you, okay? That's what the Scopes monkey trial was all about, and that's why it's still relevant today. So just substitute, like you just said, one issue for another. I don't care. Whether it's Maryland and LGBTQ rights, whatever it is, like it's all connected. Make sense?
Absolutely. Except, can we use chagrin as our word of the day, please? Because it's quite a fancy word.
It is. I just threw chagrin in. I totally would, except I have an even better one this week.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can we go?
Yep.
Okay. The word of the day is jocose.
Jocose.
Jocose. Yeah.
Like with an A? Like
No. Like
jocose?
no, like Jocose.
Oh.
Jocose. Yeah. It actually means playful or humorous.
Oh, okay.
It comes from the Latin root, because I know how you
Yes,
love
I
your
do.
little roots. Jocus, meaning joke or jest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we are. So like how you think you're so jocose, but like not actually really.
Yeah. Okay. So what is today opposite day or something?
I mean, it could be if you're like 12,
Okay.
but
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Okay,
You're
dude.
so funny.
Yeah, I know I am. I'm rubber, you're glue. Whatever you say bounces off of me.
And
sticks
here
onto
we
you.
are.
Yeah,
And here we
okay,
are.
Right. Okay.
You
Yeah. I
started?
win.
Here we are.
You lose. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So why don't you go ahead and just recap the whole thing first, and then we can kind of go from there.
All right. Good idea.
Mm.
Are we ready?
Mm.
Okay. So first, I got to set the stage a little. It's all about setting stages.
Lights, camera, action.
Okay. So it all started in a little courthouse in 1925. Amanda, turn down the lights. In Tennessee, Amanda, of all places, Dayton, Tennessee, they passed something called the Butler Act, which basically made it illegal to teach evolution in public school because people were all freaking out about evolution as a, quote, threat to traditional Christian values. Because you got to remember, around that time, like a bunch of schools had already started teaching Darwin's theory of evolution. And all these conservative religious groups, especially in the South, like Tennessee, saw this as basically a bunch of infidels saying like, the Bible's wrong and you might be related to a monkey. Oh, wait a second. Should we do a quick Darwin recap on the theory?
Probably
about,
a good
like,
idea
okay.
because I will say, like I say a
Good
lot of
point.
times, Darwin was right when
Yeah.
it comes to.
Darwin was right on a lot of things. Okay, let's do a quick Darwin thing and then we'll get back on track. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so quick refresh on Darwin. So he was a British scientist in the 1800s who basically sailed around the world on this little boat called the HMS Beagle and studied plants and animals and fossils and all like nature stuff, like all over the place. And in 1859, he publishes his magnum opus, the book on the origin of species, which basically challenged every belief on creation that anybody had up until this time. So he basically said like that all the species of life have evolved over time through a process called natural selection, where the organisms best adapted to their environment are most likely to survive and then, of course, pass on their traits.
So
right?
basically, survival of the fittest, like over 1 million years or something.
Exactly. Right. Okay, makes sense. That's Darwin. Okay.
Right, because
anyway.
when there are dumb people around,
Yeah.
no offense to anybody, but why are they still here?
Oh, I see what you mean. Wow. I didn't even know where you're going with that one. That was as mean as anything I've ever said.
It wasn't that mean.
Mm.
Everyone's thought it. Everyone's thought it.
Okay. And back on track. So back to the whole Butler Act thing. So in 1925, some guy named John Washington Butler pushes through this bill that ended up being called the Butler Bill, right? Go figure, because he's,
So original.
has to be so cool. Right. As a way to protect kids from what he saw as, quote, morally dangerous ideas. Well, I mean, not just like him, but like all the people who were backing him. You know what I mean? Okay. So I guess all these conservatives didn't want like anyone messing with all these young kids' heads that might lead them to question the Bible or, God forbid, authority in general in the public school system. So, I mean, for context, okay, Amanda, this was like during the whole like time of prohibition. And also like a lot of people don't remember this, but like the KKK was totally still lynching people in the 1920s. And then we had just finished World War I. So needless to say, anxiety was like at an all-time high. And people in general felt a little out of control. So in their defense, banning evolution sort of felt like, I think, a way to get a little control back during the time of out of controlledness.
But I mean, like, out of all the things that were on the list of important things happening, this is the sword that we all died on.
Look, dude, this was the South. This was Christian values. What do you want me to say?
All right.
I don't
guess
know.
so.
Yes.
So basically in the 1920s, we had lynchings, KKK, end of World War I, Prohibition, and the Scopes monkey trial. You want to give us a little bit more on who,
Here we go. Let's go.
It was?
Enter John Scopes. John Scopes. He has a first name. People don't know that. 24-year-old science teacher who agreed on purpose, Amanda, mind you, to get arrested to test the law. So,
like, did he do this on purpose?
Yes. No, this whole thing was on purpose. This is all set up. You're going to love this. Okay.
Okay.
So he wasn't like this hardcore rebel guy or anything, like at all. He was only a substitute teacher. And he was the head football coach at Ray County High School in Dayton, Tennessee, who was backed by the ACLU.
The American Civil Liberties Union?
Oh, yes, exactly. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
So, but like this school should have been progressive to begin with.
No, that the school wasn't. He was.
Oh, he was backed by the ACLU.
This is all
understood.
This is all a setup, Amanda. Okay, right. So it's not like Scopes really cared one way or the other about this whole evolution thing, like at all. He was a guinea pig. Darwin, guinea pig. That's hysterical. I don't even get credit for that. She doesn't even laugh. I'm just throwing it out there. Okay, so one sort of something like this. 1925, the ACLU was looking for someone to challenge the whole Butler Act.
Oh,
thing.
Because the Butler Act came into effect.
Yes, that's
this
it.
Was after.
So they saw it as a violation of free speech and free thought. And a group of local ACLU people in Dayton figured it was a good way to get their town on the map. Like, literally make money for tourism dollars and gain some notoriety. Yes.
This is the whole Ponzi scheme.
This is it. Yes. They asked John Scopes if he would be their guy. And he's like, sure, I'm 24 years old. I don't do anything. I'm the head football coach. Let's go. Put me in, coach.
I did not know that.
Yes, that's it. It's insane.
Huh.
Yeah, it's total setup.
I knew about the whole, trial, but not...
No. This was like he wasn't dying on any hill here. He didn't give two shits about this whole thing. This is why I love doing the research, right?
Okay, it is.
Right. Okay, so what made this trial so iconic compared to a million others, I suppose, is that it wasn't really about John breaking the law or anything like that. It was really more about America, right? And being at a crossroads and figuring out like what our cultural identity was going to be going forward. So, and of course, the whole case blew up in the media. I don't know, whatever media they had back then, radio, of course, right? Not television. And people started showing up. Newspaper. Yeah. People start showing up from all over the country to watch the trial. I mean, they like packed up their horse and buggies and headed to friggin' Dayton, Tennessee. It was nuts.
I mean, that's one way that we would say that he went viral in 1925.
The guy was totally viral in 1925. Guy was the first viral guy ever. Let's go.
Is this like the first media circus?
Yes, absolutely. This is so great. Okay. Like newspapers, they were having field days. Amanda, cartoon monkeys.
They were selling those papers.
They were drawn cartoon monkeys in suits. Reporters were flooding the town. How about this? Fun fact. Somebody even brought a chimpanzee, a real live chimpanzee.
To the trial?
Yeah, to chill outside the courtroom every day as a mascot for the whole thing. It was insane. They had a mascot.
Okay, I think we need the play-by-play because, I mean, obviously we all know the outcome. But, I mean, like, how did it actually all go down, seeing that there was chimpanzees on the outside of the courtroom?
Oh, no, this was big stuff. Right, this was epic. It was like Tom Cruise going up against Jack Nicholson in A Few Good Men. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth. Oh, my God. Sorry. Greatest movie ever. Anyway.
I don't think that's how it went down.
That's exactly how it Basically, that's how it went. Okay. So in one corner, you had Clarence Darrow. He was the defense attorney, like basically saying free speech matters and like, we're going to kick your ass. Like, he was the science guy because, by the way, he was already super famous, Darrow was at the time, for being a lawyer and winning all these cases for like labor unions back in the day. In the early 1900s. Okay. Oh, yeah. No, this guy, everybody knew who Clarence Darrow was.
He was a big slugger.
Totally was. Yeah. He was totally Tom Cruise. Then for the prosecution, you had William Jennings Bryan. Okay. 3-time presidential candidate William Jennings Bryan.
Oh.
Who was 0 for 3, by the way.
Well,
lost 3 times. Yeah.
Clearly.
And he was all about defending traditional Christian values and everything the Bible ever said. Total fundamentalist. Amanda.
So we got like a fight here then of like modernism versus fundamentalism. And it's, I think, just every other battle in America. It's culture, right?
Yes.
And cultural identity.
Yes. You nailed that. Well said. Way to wrap that shit up in a bow. Yeah, but with like a whole Lin-Manuel Miranda Broadway
oh my God,
flair to it, right? Like that was it, right?
So good. Right. Teach me all my history.
We should talk to Lin-Manuel.
You should.
And about
you should.
We should talk to him about doing a Scopes monkey trial, like Broadway play. That would be excellent. Okay, quick and dirty play-by-play. You ready?
Yeah.
Whole thing. I'm going to go fast. I'm literally going to go day 1 through 12 as fast as I can. We're going to rip through it. Okay. Day 1, trial opens. Everybody shows up. It's like 1,000 degrees, like I said. Think Coachella, but like with no music. It just sucks.
Not nearly as entertaining.
Yeah, and you just have smelly chimpanzees everywhere. Day 2 and 3, jury selection. Everybody's getting all weird and awkward. No one wants to look at each other. You got like the Bible thumpers in one corner and the scientists in the other corner, but like they're on the jury, so they all know they're going to have to work together at some point to, I don't know, get a verdict. So they're kind of shitting their pants and just being really quiet. Like
I'm actually real curious. which jurors they asked to be excused.
Oh my
but
God.
anyways,
I have no,
I digress.
Lost to history. All right. Day 4 and 5, enter Clarence Darrow and William Jennings Bryan, armed with some, let's call it sarcasm, a pocket constitution, and the latest version of the King James Bible in their hands.
So both of them.
Well, this is what it's all about.
Well, I mean, I figured one of them did, but I'd be so interested if the defense.
Okay, maybe Darrow had a
also
constitution.
brought-
Maybe Jennings Bryan had the Bible. I don't know.
Okay,
But
okay.
you get the point,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay. Day 6 and 7, they crack the science books out, baby. Let's go. Prosecution goes nuts. Holy airball. What's happening? Science books? Why is science in a courtroom? Day 8 and 9, the judges decide, hey, check this. No science is allowed in the trial. No science is allowed in a science trial. What the fuck is that all about? Like, Darrow puts away a science book because, like, he's not allowed to use them. The judge banned the science book. Didn't ban the Bible.
But is it
banned the science book?
fair? But yeah,
Not fair.
No,
Not fair.
No, not fair. But like,
This is what we're dealing with in the South in 1925.
but the trial wasn't about science. They weren't trying whether or not evolution was real or not real.
Technically, no.
They were trying whether or not it should be brought into a classroom.
This was about cultural identity in the United States of America. This was about, like you just said, fundamentalism versus modernism. Like, where are we going, folks? What are we allowed to teach?
Right. So
Right.
if you're not going to allow the
He was
science
trying to make
book-
his damn point. Then you shouldn't allow the Bible. That's all I'm
Yeah,
saying. But
right.
you're allowed one, not the other. Okay, but Darrow doesn't give a shit because he's smart AF. And he's cooking up a new plan.
Okay.
So guess what he does? Day 10. Flips the script. Calls Bryan, the prosecuting lawyer, on the stand.
Really?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
Totally did.
So
Yes.
people were gripping their pearls. Like, what happened?
Now does it seem a little Jack Nicholson,
Okay.
Tom Cruise,
A
right?
little, yeah,
yes. Everyone's like, holy shit, what just happened? Even the chimpanzee outside was going crazy, right? It was nuts. Okay, day 11, climax. Bryan gets grilled by Darrow, literally, like in A Few Good Men.
Okay.
But all about the Bible. Like, so Darrow
Okay.
starts going, okay, so did Jonah really live in a whale? Did he really, Bryan? Like, did God really create the world in 6 days? Like, really in 6 days? How do you know that? And if there was only Adam and Eve, someone was screwing their sister to make all these people somehow. I'm just saying, right? Like, seriously, I don't know. And then day 12, the finale.
Yeah.
So Scopes is found guilty. He loses.
Okay.
Fined $100 because technically he broke the law, right? He wasn't allowed to teach. And here we are 100 years later, and America's still arguing. There you go. Day 1 through 12. How'd I do? I'm sweating over here.
I mean, it was awesome.
I buzzed through that fast.
But he lost. Because,
He
I
lost.
thought he had won.
He didn't win. No, totally
No.
guilty. They pounded the gavel, paid $100. By the way, you know how much $100 is? Like nowadays? Like a lot of money. $1,800. He had to pay $1,800.
That's it. I mean, $800 is nothing.
Well, for a freaking substitute
He
high
was
school
backed by other people.
Okay, fine.
So then what? I mean, they must have won something, right? Like, they wouldn't have gone through this whole trial and process if there wasn't
Okay,
something
yes, you're
to
splitting
win.
hairs. Of course. Of course. You are absolutely right. Kind of did. Let's
So
be
maybe
honest.
not like legally, but
Yes. It's
what
like
did
what
he
you,
win?
It's like what you just said. The trial wasn't even about who was going to win or lose in the first place. You were
Right.
totally onto it, right? I just
So
didn't-
what was on the table to win?
It was about calling bullshit on all the shit lawmakers do and putting the judicial system to the test.
Mm.
And it took a minute, but like it worked.
What do you mean it worked? Because when I was doing all my research, I read that the actual Butler Act that started this whole thing in 1925 stayed on the books in Tennessee all the way up until 1967 or something. That's 40 more years. So it doesn't sound like it really worked. It just kind of sounds like we put up with it for like nothing really happened.
No, none of that shit really mattered.
And then
Relax.
you were almost born. So like
Wow. What is it with you
I'm
and
just-
age? You know
no,
what I mean?
there's
I'm not
nothing
throwing
about it.
shade
I'm
at
just,
you.
no.
You
I'm
know what
just
you're
saying
trying
from
to
like
I think,
1925.
you know what I think you're trying to be? You're trying to be jocose.
I'm-
That's it. Thank you. Boom. I want my dollar.
You did.
I want my dollar.
But from like 1925,
Yeah.
you were just saying how,
Yes.
50 years, and it's a 100-year, right? You've been to 50, so
Okay.
like
Can you
half,
bear
right?
with me?
But it took that long.
It did, but not really.
What do you
Listen,
mean not
no,
really?
because people go underground, right? Remember when you just said like, oh, it was about America's fight for cultural identity?
Yeah,
It
yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
right. Yeah, okay, the whole thing, right? So that was the shift, 1925. That's what they won. So after that, more and more schools started teaching evolution, and they didn't give a shit about what the court said anymore. So from 1925, 1967, the Butler Act was still on the books technically. Nobody gave a shit. They
Because the
weren't-
fine was so little, like nobody cared
because
what the
they
consequence was.
realized they were going to get away with it. Amen. Done and done.
Oh,
So all these schools
interesting.
started implementing everything. They were like, fuck it. It violates the First Amendment. In the end, dude, John Scopes wins. We win. That's what happened. Done and
Okay,
done.
that makes
yes.
sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I'm tracking, though, they lost the battle. They didn't quite win the war, but at least it started the new war.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Good.
Eventually,
yes.
then, like,
yes.
science caught up, and biology teachers were celebrated.
Absolutely. Yes.
Here we are.
Yes. Everything
But there's
worked
still
till-
now a new thing,
everything-
right? Like, it's
there's
always something new.
There is. But the
Okay.
point is now you have to take all that shit seriously. So this was like the OG battle that made us really pay attention to all the things that have come after it. Yeah.
Right. Because, I mean, then it was like Darwin versus the Bible, right?
Yes, correct.
But realistically, I mean, like now it's the same thing, right? Just LGBTQ
Doesn't matter what
rights
it
and the
it's
Bible.
anything. It's whatever you were bitching about a few weeks ago.
AB 84.
AB 84.
Yeah.
Right. Let's go. Right. Who really gets to decide all that kind of stuff anyway, right? That's the whole point. It's like,
no, it's
what?
really, it's
Right,
intriguing though, because there are so many different levels, right? So in the case of AB 84, it was started by the Assembly Education Committee. But if you mean for things like the Scopes Monkey Trial, that's like your local school board. So they usually are the ones who have direct control, and they're the ones that get elected by us, you know, hence why you should go vote. Make sure you vote.
Let's go.
Especially on local election stuff. They approve the curriculum. They decide on the books that are in the library or what's using, you know, in the classroom, which subjects get emphasized or ignored. So that's why you really need to like get out there and vote.
Seriously.
And you got to know what's going on in your community. And I think a lot of people are like, well, I don't have kids. It doesn't matter. Like,
It does.
I mean, you just graduated your last one, but
I
it
know.
does because
It does.
I have
know, 'cause
kids.
it's full circle.
And so if there aren't people who are involved and care, then you just have the ones who do care and pay attention.
Yes. That probably shouldn't be around anyway, like we talked about.
I mean, there are lots of opinions.
My bad, yeah. But then after that, what do you have? So it's just the local school board is all like,
No, then
they
there's-
decide everything? No way. There's more to it.
Locally. And then there's like the state education department, and they're the ones that set the academic standards, right? So what you're supposed to learn.
Oh my God. So in
every
California,
year.
that's Gavin Newsom. Okay, fine.
No, I mean, not him directly.
No, but like
But it's
okay,
the
fine.
department,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
States can totally mandate certain topics, like in the scopes. They can teach evolution. They can ban certain interpretations of history.
Oh, they totally rewrite
approve
history all the time.
Which textbooks are used, right, statewide. So you have like the state, then you have your local, right? And then ultimately it's like the principals and the teachers who then interpret all the standards, and they get to make the day-to-day decisions. So though while teachers may have some discretion in how they teach, their freedom really depends on their district and the community and culture. And it's wild to me because if you think about that after coming back from our road trip of our 1,900 miles, being in like Wyoming and Montana, so different than here.
Well, people are putting down bison apparently.
And I mean, and it's a total different culture.
No,
total
I know
different
it
life.
is.
Total. I mean, not values maybe per se, but like.
No, but
I
some of
think
it is. But some of it is. America does have divided values. They do.
But isn't that the beauty though of community, right? Like.
But I think that's the whole point you're trying to make here. It's like we can't ignore any of it, because if one group ignores some of it, well, then it's like unbalanced. So like you need the balance. You need to get out there. You need to vote. You need to care. You need to pay more attention, because if you don't challenge the status quo, you mess up the yin yang, and you need that.
You need balance.
Yes.
If not, the pendulum swings too much.
Yes, absolutely.
And then you have the soon to be 18 and 30-year-olds who are like, what? Right? Had no, I mean.
You know what the 18 to 30-year-olds need? They need sort of sophisticated.
I mean, a little bit, maybe,
That's what they
right?
need.
Just to learn a little.
Right.
Or,
And
just,
then
or just to get like the thing.
Yeah,
and
then
the
go like,
other side of it, right?
I got to go learn more stuff. Exactly.
Right.
Oh my
Because,
God.
I mean, you get curious. Then
go,
you're going to
people.
maybe do some research. You're going to ask some questions.
Yes.
I think it's hard, too, because we have TikTok and everyone takes everything for face value. The Scopes Monkey Trial, right? He was 24 years old.
I know.
Like,
I thought about
I don't
that.
know if
I know.
he knew.
Two of my kids are already
fully-
24. Right. Yeah,
Right.
I
Like,
know.
you couldn't even imagine your kids being
Right.
like, I'm going to start a revolution over
Right.
this.
I know.
But they weren't even convicted.
No, but he cared enough.
Yeah, I
Like
know.
the point, it wasn't like he was getting paid off to do it. He cared enough, right? Like, here's the deal. I tell my kids this all the time. You have to speak up when you are presented with misinformation, right? Like,
because I mean, I think we've lost our warriors of facts.
Yes.
Right. Like we have AI.
right, we have to be defenders.
We
Yes,
take
exactly. Yes.
everything at face value.
Right.
And I think that
Is a problem.
because we don't. No one wants to be uncomfortable anymore. And not that you're challenging and just to be a dick about it, but you want to like question things,
You have
right?
to
Be
question things.
courageous. Because if there's anything that I think we've learned in the last gazillion years is obviously we said it earlier in the episode, history repeats itself.
Yes, it does.
And when I say I hate when history repeats itself, it's like we didn't learn, right? We didn't take the time. We didn't understand.
absolutely.
We didn't ask the questions. We haven't, not to be punny, but we haven't evolved,
Yeah,
right?
That is, by the way, that is excellently punny. That was so jocose. It like wasn't even fun. Like that was. Actually, I have to give you the money now.
Unintentional.
That was excellent. All right, fine. Sorry, I didn't mean to get you off track.
No, it's
Go.
just the more I think that we pay attention and get involved and care.
Yeah.
Outside of our bubbles.
Yeah, we have
it's
to.
not just about us. That there could be another mindset. There could be another way. There
people
could
could go backwards. People forget. You think law is always going forward, like all the time, like it's getting better and better. It's not. We're in the middle of it right now.
Yeah.
Like there's some people like want to take shit backwards. Look, I'm not like all super crazy, Mr. Progressive, like liberal crazy man, but let's sit somewhere in the middle. I mean, my views generally, but I don't want to go backwards. I think we forget laws can regress. They don't. We have to defend, and we have to make sure that we're always speaking up.
Yes, and I think it's hard because people think progress is this huge pendulum swing one way.
No.
And I mean, maybe we eventually will talk about immigration and what's happening, but there's other ways, right? But we're not willing to look at the other ways. It's just this one or this one, and that's it. It's like, no.
Right.
There's a bunch in between.
There's a lot. There's a ton.
And if we all truly cared, we would take the time and come together to work it out. But instead, it's political, just like this was, the Scopes trial was. It's a show. It's he said, she's like,
it's 10 times worse.
disgusting.
It's 10 times worse now than it was before.
Absolutely. Well, because now it's all in the palm of your hand.
I know. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Well, I digress. I don't know.
No, but that's good. No, I'm glad. It's good that you and I even sit here and talk about it, right? Because like most people don't even want to talk about it. So job well done.
It is true.
Yeah.
All right. So maybe we should lighten the mood just a little bit because we can go down that deep rabbit hole of depression.
We were about to. We were just about to go political.
We were there on the cusp.
We were working on the edges.
But maybe like some fun facts because I'm sure that there were like some for the trial.
Oh, there's fun facts. There's fun facts about everything. And by the way, if I don't have fun facts, I just make them up anyway. Doesn't matter. And I just throw it in the sort of category instead of the sophistic category.
If you think about it, though, there's always a fun fact. You know why? Because there's always something that you didn't know that makes it just a little more interesting.
Yes, except I try to make sure the fun facts weren't already included somewhere in what we chatted about.
Yes, I know. You go the extra mile.
I do. I try.
It's very true.
What are you going to do?
Or you bury the lead. I don't know which one it is, but whatever it is, it's always the best section of our episode.
I'm like the lady in Wyoming. She buried the bison.
Oh,
I buried
my
the
God.
lead. All right. Ready?
Yep.
Ready? Fun fact. Okay. Number one. I know we sort of said it already, but Scopes wasn't even sure. Like, he taught evolution. Okay? He wasn't even a biology teacher. Like we said earlier, he was a substitute teacher. He was the head coach of the football team and maybe mentioned evolution in a textbook. Maybe. The whole trial was basically staged to challenge the law and generate publicity for Dayton, Tennessee. All right? I know. That's
blows
crazy.
my mind.
Yes,
blows my mind.
I know we already talked about that one, but I thought that was excellent. Okay. Number two, the trial took place in July in Tennessee, a southern summer, Amanda, in this steamy, moisty, fanless courtroom with moist. Let's make moist our word of the day, right? Amanda, there's a gazillion people in there. No air conditioning.
Yeah,
gross. Think of the stench. Oh, my God. Okay. At one point, it got so hot, they had to move the proceedings outside under a shady tree just to keep going. Outside! So nobody would die of heat stroke.
I'm just saying, you get hot inside a 75-degree office.
Right? I'm boiling over here.
No, you're crazy.
Okay.
You would have just died. You would have been one of the ones that fell over.
We might need to call 911 here in a few minutes if you don't turn the air conditioning lower. Okay. Number three. It was the first trial to ever be broadcast on the radio.
Oh, did we mention the radio earlier? I didn't even think about the radio.
Yes. Yeah. We were talking newspaper radio. Yeah. WGN, apparently, along with a few other stations, carried live coverage, making it one of America's first media trials covered live ever. Think of it as like the O.J. Simpson trial's great-grandpa, but like more theology, right? Like less bloody murder of like Nicole, right? Okay.
But you know what's also crazy?
What?
If you think about that, like how it was just aired on the radio.
Yeah.
But now, like for the Diddy trials, like people were live streaming.
Oh, I know.
As they were getting updates.
It's nuts.
Like,
let's go.
How crazy.
I know. How far we've come. I don't know
if that's
Okay. That was so funny, right? You owe me a Coke. Okay. Number four, the Judge John Ralston, thank you, actually opened the trial by quoting from Genesis. So much for neutrality. He quoted from Genesis. In the trial about whether the Bible should influence science education, the judge opens with Genesis and Adam and Eve. What the hell is that all about?
I mean, does that just not show you that there was a bias? I don't know. Maybe
a little bit of a problem. Okay. Number five, William Jennings Bryan, the prosecutor, worked for free. Huh. He actually went so far as to refuse payment and even donated his own money to help cover the court expenses for the trial. He was that invested in defending his biblical literalism.
Good for him.
Fundamentalist. Okay.
Good for him.
Number six, Clarence Darrow tried to bring in actual scientists to explain evolution, but the judge said no, on the grounds that they were too irrelevant. Their testimonies were recorded, but the jury never heard a word, and they were blocked from actually going on the stand and ever testifying, like we said earlier. That's so terrible. Okay, and finally, number seven, William Jennings Bryan died just 5 days after the trial ended.
Really?
5, yeah.
Did somebody poison him?
Right, so no.
Oh, conspiracy theory. Let's go. No? Okay.
Hysterical. Like, you're looking for all the conspiracies. No, he passed away in his sleep on July 26, 1925, after returning from dinner with friends. Poisoned.
That's what I said.
No. Some blamed the stress of being publicly humiliated on the stand by Darrow. Others say it was just heat exhaustion. He was 65 years old. When I looked it all up, they basically, I don't want to say they confirmed, but heat exhaustion seems to be the going conclusion.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, that's all I got.
Heat stroke.
Heat stroke.
Okay.
That's it. Just like me right now.
I mean.
Yeah, my butt is stuck to this chair right now. Can you see my armpit sweat over here?
Okay, well then let's hurry up. Okay, let's hurry up.
What?
What is our call to action? What are we supposed to be doing?
Oh,
Give
we're
us
doing
a quick recap so we can peel
let's
you
get out
off
of here.
the couch.
Okay, yeah. Okay, fine. All right. So first, if this episode sparked like an existential crisis about science or faith, like it did with me, watch Inherit the Wind again. Well, I guess watch it once.
I was like, yeah, you said it again. Okay,
fine. I'll watch it again. That was the famous movie based on the trial. It came out in 1960 and stars Spencer Tracy. So it's like a fiction version of the trial, but it gets like all the big stuff right. So they had to like. Because
you have to go big.
Hollywood. Yes,
yeah,
of course. You could also just go visit like a local museum and donate a little money to science research, or thank Darwin in front of like the fossil wall or something. Like just
be cultured.
Yes,
try
do something
different.
Cool, right? Like
get outside your bubble.
Yes, right. Go to the La Brea tar pits, people. Like anything. Okay, and then just remember these important details to seem sort of sophisticated. The Scopes monkey trial wasn't about one teacher; it was about free thought. John Scopes was a 24-year-old substitute who agreed to get arrested to challenge a law banning the teaching of evolution in Tennessee. The trial was basically staged by the ACLU and local leaders. It was more of a culture war than a criminal case.
What also blows my mind is how I feel like sometimes we are all just like pawns in a bigger ploy that we don't know.
Don't get me started. My brother David would love you.
No, just like in regards to this, right? Like if it was all stage and leaders were just trying to prove a point and make a ruckus, and I mean, then people buy in and now everyone's all hyped, and now now it's more just discontention within the community versus do we not have other civilized ways that we could go about making change?
Well, we have both. I mean, I think this was necessary, but I get
to start,
we can't take I get your point. You can't take advantage of that because then it is a circus, literally. Yeah. I get it. But I think some of them
I mean, I get the point. I get why it's important. And yes, it needs to be
thought out.
Challenged and whatever,
yes.
But is there not a better way than it being a circus?
I would agree.
Or manipulating people's emotions.
Correct.
Neighbors hating each other.
Fine line. Yes.
And maybe I feel that way because we are in today's political. I don't know.
You're right. No. That was a legit add-in right there. I like that. Okay. Number 2, the real fight was over who controls public education. At its core, the trial wasn't Bible versus biology at all. It was about who gets to decide what kids are taught in public schools. And that question, like we were talking about earlier, is still relevant today. Whether it's about evolution, sex ed, book bans, I don't give a shit what it is.
And I lived through it with my children.
You're in the middle of it. Let's go. Number 3, Scopes was found guilty, but still made history. He was fined $100. That's about $1,800 today. But the trial exposed the absurdity of the law and sparked the beginning of a national conversation. It took until 1967 for the law to be repealed, and in 1968 for the Supreme Court to finally shut that shit down nationwide. Thank you very much.
Just a little bit of time.
Number 4, it was America's first media trial and was broadcast live on the radio. Journalists poured in, headlines went wild, and someone even brought a chimpanzee named Joe Mendy to the courthouse. We love you, Joe. Shout out. Poor Joe. Rip. And number 5, finally, it's still relevant today. Just insert issue here, right? The question remains the same regardless of the issue du jour. Where do we draw the line between education and ideology, Amanda?
Well, and there you have it, fellow listeners. It was a deep dive into the sweaty, theatrical, and surprisingly relevant world of the Scopes monkey trial. From courtroom chaos to cultural identity crisis, it turns out this 1925 showdown wasn't just about evolution. It was about power, free thought, and who gets to decide what our kids learn. And we're still going through it today.
We are. If we did our job today, hopefully you're walking away a bit more sophisticated with a sharper grasp of constitutional drama, a fun fact or two about monkey mascots, and a better understanding of why we're still arguing about education 100 years later.
This trial had everything, folks. Science, religion, politics, public shaming, and even a chimp in a 3-piece suit.
Joe.
But really at the heart of it, the Scopes monkey trial reminds us that education isn't just about facts, it's about values. So if you like this episode, make sure to subscribe, leave us a review, and share it with someone who still thinks Clarence Darrow was a Supreme Court justice. No shame. We're all just learning here. So until next time, don't forget, the fight for knowledge isn't new, And progress takes courage and sometimes a little heat. So stay curious, stay civil, and question everything. Now go out there and teach someone something true, preferably without getting arrested.